another degree.
If we get to 30 years from now and the Amazon is brushland, I think I would look back and say, we had a chance to save one of the world's great treasures. A place that's intimidating in its vastness and its complexity. And it's so grand in scale that it really is reaching its influence around the entire planet. Everyone in the world in some way is tied to this ecosystem, and I think in looking back I'd say we had a chance and we blew it. Humanity had a chance.
In a world warmer by 3 degrees, climate change could be manifest in the most violent weather humans have ever experienced. As the oceans get hotter and hotter, a new global climate pattern emerges, mirroring the violent weather anomaly we call El Niño. But in a 3-degree world, those extreme conditions could become the status quo. Normally, the trade winds drive warm ocean currents toward the western Pacific, leaving cold, nutrient-rich waters along the coast of South America. El Niño turns that system upside down. The first signs are wild fluctuations in air pressure. The trade winds weaken and completely change direction. Warm water spreads east across the Pacific. Torrential rains and flooding strike coastal South America. Indonesian rainforests and Australian farmland experience extreme drought conditions. And many climate models include another troubling forecast. Continued warming could turbocharge a new generation of superstorms.
In a world which is 3 degrees warmer, there's going to be a lot more energy in the world's oceans to drive hurricanes. And hurricanes derive their rocket fuel from the warming of the ocean.
Scientists are still investigating a connection between global warming and hurricane strength. The summer of 2005 would bring dramatic new evidence. In late August, a Hurricane Hunter aircraft is dispatched over the Gulf of Mexico. A colossal storm is building and tracking straight for the city of New Orleans. Anyone left there has only one word in mind: Katrina. By Sunday, August 28th, Katrina's winds reached 280 kilometers per hour. Thermal imagery along the storm track reveals Katrina's clout. Orange and red indicate the sea temperature has risen to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, a full degree higher than normal. Dropping pressure within the eye wall is the 4th lowest ever recorded for an Atlantic storm. It revs Katrina even more. When Hurricane Katrina makes landfall in New Orleans, it unleashes a terrible fury. Within 6 hours, the storm is on its way out of the city. But the destruction of New Orleans only gets worse, transforming the natural disaster into a national tragedy. Jazz trumpeter Irvin Mayfield grew up in New Orleans. The storm surge and a breach at the London Avenue Canal sent 2.5 meters of water into Mayfield's neighborhood. His father stays to protect the family home. His body won't be found for weeks.
When someone has lost their high school, their junior high school, their elementary school, their pictures, their videotapes, their clothes, their friend's house, their friend's mother's house, their barber shop, the place they had their first kiss, you know, when you lose all that, and some people lost loved ones, when you have all of that come together, it's you can't imagine a type of tragedy, a citywide catastrophe, not even rivaled by September 11th.
It's impossible to directly link Katrina to global warming. The process that forms hurricanes is too complex. But if the planet warms by 3 degrees, we could be in for a new generation of superstorm. If the Earth reaches plus 3 degrees, over the next 40 or 50 years, the planet's basic life support systems could begin to break down. But beyond 3 degrees, the science of global warming becomes more and more speculative and more frightening. If the world warms by 4 degrees, oceans rise, overtaking heavily populated deltas, home to 1 billion people. Bangladesh, washed away. Egypt, inundated. Venice, submerged. Glaciers disappear, shutting off the flow of fresh water to billions more. Northern Canada becomes one of the planet's most bountiful agricultural zones, while a beach in Scandinavia could be the next Saint-Tropez. The entire West Antarctic ice sheet could collapse, sending sea levels rising even further. This could be our world, plus 4 degrees.
At 4 degrees, we really do begin to see a planet which is completely unrecognizable from the one we know today. We will see the possible drying up of some of the most important rivers in the world, and this will endanger the survival of tens and even hundreds of millions of people.
If the planet is ever 4 degrees warmer, one of its great rivers will be self-destructing at both ends, from a high mountain glacier to the Indian Ocean. Locals call it Mother Ganges, the holiest river in India, perhaps in all the world. Millions of devout pilgrims gather each year in a mass ritual to celebrate the river's birthday. When it is said the goddess Ganga came to earth to save her people from drought. Himalayan rivers are the wellspring of life for over 1 billion people in China, Nepal, and India. Unless we begin to slow global warming in fewer than 4 decades, the Ganges could be a river fighting for its very life. The battle will be fought here, in the vast crystalline ice fields of the Himalayan glaciers, the planet's largest store of fresh water outside of the polar ice caps. Himalayan glaciers are receding, the fastest of any in the world. Few have ventured here to the headwaters of the Ganges as often as one man. Swami Sundaranand, an 80-year-old holy man known as the Swami who clicks, has been photographing the glaciers above the Ganges for 50 years.
1956 में सर्वप्रथम
The first photo I took of the glacier was in 1956.
ये मैंने After 1962, I started to worry about the changes I was seeing in the glacier.
1965 में
I went to this glacier on foot in 1965, to the base of Meru Peak.
अब उसके बाद 15 वर्ष के बाद जब गया
When I went back after 15 years, the glacier had vanished.
क्योंकि मैं पर्यटक बना
When I saw the glacier receding, I became very worried and started crying.
2,000 मील लंबा हिमालय
If the holy Ganges is not in existence in the future, the entire world will seem like it has become an orphan.
The Swami's trove of icescapes documents 50 years of change to this magnificent glacier. Now, NASA satellite imagery confirms the rate of loss. Side by side, the high and low-tech images tell a similar story, one that spells danger for the future. This was all glacier once, before it started shrinking 30 meters a year. Just a century ago, this stone marked the edge of the ice field that has retreated high up the mountain. If the world warms 5 degrees, 2 massive uninhabitable zones spread into once temperate regions of the northern and southern hemispheres. Snowpack and aquifers that feed the world's great cities, Los Angeles, Cairo, Lima, Bombay, are drying out. Climate refugees number in the hundreds of millions. This could be our world plus 5 degrees.
If we allow global warming to take off that far, I really do see a situation where we have conflict across vast areas of the globe as the people who remain and the people who survive fight it out with each other for what remains of the world's resources.
And it can get even worse. If the world warms by 6 degrees, from a distance, the oceans may appear bright blue, but they are marine wastelands. Deserts march across continents like conquering armies. Natural disasters become common events. Some of the world's great cities are flooded and abandoned. This could be our world plus 6 degrees.
Warmings of 6 degrees over longer time periods have been associated with some of the most devastating mass extinctions which have ever taken place. So it's certainly fair to assume that if temperatures soar by 6 degrees within less than a century, that we're going to face nothing less than a global wipeout.
6 degrees of warming has been called the doomsday scenario. Our lives would never be the same again. But it's not all doom and gloom yet. Most experts believe we can awaken from the nightmare. Right now, the average temperature has only risen 0.8 degrees Celsius. But we don't have much time.
We're talking about turning around the energy supply for most of humanity within the space of a decade.
For anyone looking for solutions, there's no place like home. This is the Cohen residence, a pleasant 3-bedroom in Snowmass, Colorado. But lurking beneath the surface, an energy-eating monster. Many homes waste more energy than they use. A team of eco-detectives is investigating the Cohen house for crimes against the climate.
This innocent-looking thing here, when it is on, eats a whole lot of money. When I feel this much cold on the outside of the freezer,